Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 75! Holy shit. 75. A lot of sessions, y'all. And we are back up top on the surface in the city of Waterdeep. So, a lot of stuff has happened. Let us kick off with a little bit of a recap and then get this game underway. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves deep in the 6th floor of the dungeon, the lost levels of King Malair, whose tomb they was searching for. And while the search had not been fruitless, the party had yet to find their quarry. They had faced many challenges. As they ran low on resources, the party began to consider whether or not it would be wise to continue searching, especially after Wolf, their Fey shapeshifter companion, did not return from its scouting mission. Ultimately, the party decided to continue on. They headed westward, finding an illusion they attributed to Halaster before heading further west. After a series of turns, they found themselves before a large room strewn with rubble. Bones could hear creatures within, waiting for them, and so the party made ready, jumped into action. Ashes transformed, rushed into the room, hoping to draw the creatures to himself and provide Bones, Matashtai, and Ezrah with an opportunity to attack from afar. But the two Umber Hulks he faced seemed aware that there were more attackers. To complicate matters, just at that moment, Matashtai's eyes went dark, and a shadowy sigil appeared behind him. He dashed into the room, and momentarily seemed to lose all control of himself. One of the Umber Hulks took advantage of this moment to attack, and the party began a desperate struggle as whatever it was that was afflicting Matashtai continued, ultimately leading the monk to being knocked unconscious. The rest of the party were still able to defeat the two Umber Hulks, though not without injury, and not without the aid of their new ally, the Zorn named Moss-Covered Rock near stream. Matashtai's affliction continued for some time after the Umber Hulks were dead, ultimately leading to the party needing to restrain him. Eventually, though, it did abate. The party surmised that the effect had been caused by the shadow that had touched Matashtai when they had passed through one of the gates. The party then faced some tough decisions. They were incredibly wounded, and had serious doubts about whether they would be able to survive another battle like the one they had just experienced, especially if Matashtai lost himself again. There was discussion of returning to the surface to rest, and to research the effect Matashtai was now under, perhaps even the gates, or the presence of the shadow itself. But in order to do those things, they would have to travel through several floors of the dungeon, or take another gate and risk being exposed once more to the shadow. It also meant that they would have to stall their quest, at least for a day or two, and potentially longer if necessary. After much deliberation, the party decided to first meet with Skella and see if the half-Dwargar had any information about the gates. Skella did not, though she did tell the party that one of her companions was similarly affected by the shadow under the mountain. It also seemed that the majority of the Dwargar had gone more hostile to the party in their absence, though Skella seemed no different. Ultimately, the party decided to return to the surface. Skella seemed initially unperturbed by this, under the assumption that the party would be back in a few hours, or a day at most. When the party explained that they might be gone for much longer, Skella's attitude took a sharp turn. She did not argue with the party, but instead said that the terms of their previous deal said nothing about what would happen if the Dwargar found their way into the heart of the mountain on their own. Meaning that if the party was away for too long, the Dwargar might find and keep the heart to themselves. This was not an option that Bones was willing to consider, and he made it clear to the party that he would do what was needed to make certain that he could use the heart.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The party decided that though it was dangerous, they would need to travel by gate in order to be safe and timely. They headed back to the Rust Gate in order to head back to the Arcane Chambers. Within the portal, they were once again chased by the shadow, and it once again struck out at Matashtai, this time knocking the Kalashtar unconscious. Deposited back on the second floor with Matashtai's still breathing but inert form with them, the party elected to have Ashes carry the monk out of the dungeon. Along the way, they faced off against a pair of owlbears that they almost killed before letting go, only to find out shortly thereafter that the goblins of the Tall Market had somehow domesticated the owlbears. At least somewhat. This led to the goblins being somewhat miffed with the party, who, under the current circumstances, responded rather shortly. Ultimately, though, the party was able to make it back to the surface with the unconscious Matashtai. There was a flurry of activity in the yawning portal, but shortly after, Ezrah secured a coach to the nearby Temple of Kelemvor in the dock ward that Matashtai had built a relationship with. There, the party found the 2 old priests of Kelemvor, Bryce and Godiva. But before anything could be done, Matashtai woke up. And quite contrary to his normal attitude, he disagreed with everything, to the point that he stood up and began walking out of the shrine. That is where we find ourselves. So, let us flip on over, get some music set up. Yeah. Okay, so, it is early in the morning. You guys are in the city of Waterdeep at a temple to Kelemvor that Matashtai has frequented over the course of his stay in Waterdeep. The 2 priests that kind of run this small shrine in the dock ward are at the back behind the kind of the podium near an altar with ashes, I believe, just a few paces away. Ezrah is standing next to the table that they had placed Matashtai on, that you all had placed Matashtai on. And then Bones is off on the side of the room, next to some of the pews. Matashtai has gotten up, and has basically just started to storm out of the temple. What's happening?
Ezrah cast Hold Person. I've already marked it off.
Okay. As you begin to do that, right, you hear this kind of exclamation from the older woman over with ashes, and you see her hand flash up and a flurry of arcane words upon her lips, and your Hold Person is countered.
Can I counter the counter?
You can. I do not play the blue magic counter because it ends up being very unfun in the long run. I mean, because it ends up being a counterspell arms race where I try to make sure I have 2 counterspellers in every battle, and you try to make sure you have 2 counterspellers in every. It ends real. Yeah, it ends real negative. So
counterspell Cold War.
Yeah, no. So.
And if I'll see that, I'll be like,
well, so what happens, right, is in that instant, the old woman, she doesn't seem hostile. She seems concerned. She seems afraid, right? She sees an arcanist standing near her friend, casting a spell, and so her instinct is to just interrupt it. So she counterspells your Hold Person, right? And you recognize what's happening as it's happening. But in that instant,
she realizes she's a dum-dum?
No. Who's doing what? Tell me what your character's actions would be, and then I'll see where we need to take this.
Ashes would follow Matt, not aggressively, like he's trying to tackle him or anything. Just gonna follow him. If he walks out, I'll go with him.
Okay, so he's on the other side of the shrine's small. It's not large, but basically you're gonna walk towards Matashtai. Matashtai, are you just continuing to walk out?
Yeah, like Gotta get out of here.
Okay, Bones, Ezra.
I shouted at Matt. I said, Matt, stop! Where are you going? We got to talk about this.
It's fine. Just
If he says no, I start following him, but I'm gonna put draw poison on a dagger.
God damn.
Okay.
Ezra
De-escalate.
looks
I'm
back
de-escalating. I didn't stab him.
the clerics that have counterspell.
Well, one is they're
Yeah.
priests, and one is neither of them are actually clerics.
All right.
No, that's not true. Bryce is a cleric. Bryce is like a
I
cleric
look
fighter.
back confused and stunned at what just transpired. Aren't you supposed to protect him? Can't you tell something's wrong with him? And you're just gonna, Matt, come back!
No!
And I start shuffling toward what?
You actually get disapproving looks from both Bryce and Godiva as you kind of like throw this tirade at them, right? To the point to where you see this after, because everyone else is kind of like already storming after Matashtai, right? You actually see Bryce has leaned back and has reached past the altar, and you see he brings out this one-handed flanged mace.
Alright, whatever.
Just kind of like an act
the
of
devil.
ready. Like he doesn't make any movements or any aggressions or anything like that, but it's clear that he has now armed himself because he's not sure what's happening and he wants to be prepared.
We definitely didn't come to them for help for them to then let this thing happen.
You just casting at people, man. No, not everyone knows what that means.
Isn't that we're in Waterdeep? Isn't that one of the laws about casting magic and
it's finicky, right? Like obviously you can't just hurt people or anything like that, but there's no law against magic in Waterdeep.
right?
There's laws against impersonation and illusion and things like that.
Right.
And destruction of property.
Absolutely,
yeah.
right? Like you can't just willy-nilly, but like
Fireball.
no one like makes any fuss or muss or anything over like, oh, here's a minor illusion, whee, that type of thing. And Waterdeep is the city of adventurers, right? It kind of caters to adventurers, so they're given a free rein. But its citizens also kind of like, they have to deal with adventurers all the time, so they're ready in case they need to.
All right, I don't know why Matthew is going away from his friends and his little holy people with no explanation like this. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go under the assumption that he's possessed by the devil.
Possessed by the devil. All right. Possessed by the devil, Matashtai just stomps out of the shrine to Kellamvor. Ashes and Bones following close behind. Ezra a little ways afterwards. It's still in sight, right?
Yep.
You do watch Ezra. Godiva and Bryce do follow you out of the building. They're
Now you
watching you, right? They're trying to keep an eye on the situation, but they're still not sure exactly what's going on. They don't know, are some of you bad guys? Are all of you good guys? Is this just a weird thing that's happening? What's going on, right? They're trying to keep their eyes on everything.
They've interacted with me before. I don't know if Ashes or Bones.
Never. Not once.
I think I've went there twice.
Twice.
So
Third time's the charm.
Clearly not. Third time they counterspell my charm.
They didn't know what you were doing. All right, so Matashtai, you stomp out of the shrine. You are on a small street in the dock ward. What are you doing?
Or look left.
Okay. There's a winding road that curves off about 30 or 40 feet, curves off to the south, and you can hear kind of like the bark of like a group of people, which is a little odd, because again, it's winter, it's cold outside right now. The streets are actually relatively slick. There are snow drifts, those types of things, right? But it sounds like there's a gathering of people to the south. Check north.
Yeah.
It's just street. it goes on for 80 to 100 feet before it begins to curve northeast.
I march off to the north.
Okay. So Matashtai just kind of like, he almost looks like this grumpy individual that's just like marching through snow.
I'm sorry, he marched off specifically away from people?
Yes.
Is that what happened?
It seems
Uh-huh.
so.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I mean, his demeanor seems pretty normal, though.
Okay, fine. Let's just let him go, because he's either possessed by the devil or he's gonna bolt, or both.
Okay. Do you continue to follow him, basically?
I mean, I'll be like, hey man, where are we going?
I'm gonna go sell some of these armor and weapons we got.
I'm gonna let him give like 2 more snappy answers, and I'm gonna stab him.
I reach into the bag and I pull out one of the weapons we got, kind of inspect it. And I'm gonna continue marching down the road, looking for a blacksmith.
Okay.
Okay, hey Matt, why'd we come back up to the top? I stab him.
To get me heat. Oh.
Nope, I stab him. He took way too long to answer. I stab him with the drow dagger. I stab him.
Okay.
No. All right, look. If I can see this, I will interpose my hand with this dagger.
Well, you get ready to go to sleep.
I have to go to sleep.
All right.
Why are you? Oh my god, dude.
What is
This
he
dude
going
is-
to do? What is going to happen? He's
Everyone roll initiative.
He's possessed. He's possessed by the devil, and he's trying to escape to do something. I don't know what yet, but something.
I'm the only person in the party that hits our allies, and that's only because it's accidental.
Damn it. Well, god damn y'all.
Tensions are high. Matashtai, you
Escalate.
see the flash of a dagger in Bones' hand. I'm sorry, Ezra. Matashtai has a higher
I'm
dexterity
not
than
arguing.
you.
I know the game. You're good.
Matashtai, you are the first to be able to react in the situation. And it seems like Bones is intent on stabbing you with that dagger.
So, like, is he, like, within 5 feet about to stab me? Is he, like, marching towards me with a dag out?
Well, he's basically like, you were ahead, and
In like
Ashes
a little
and
group.
Bones are like 5 feet behind you. Just following at your heels.
I see him pull the dag, and I sprint away.
Okay.
No! And I run.
Okay, foot race with a tabaxi. Let's do this. A tabaxi
Okay.
rogue.
Are you trying to run as far as you can?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you go just blazing down the street.
Point to step of the wind, 90
Yeah.
feet. I dash for another 45.
Oh Lord, he going.
Okay,
135 feet.
135 feet. All right, Ezra. You are like 10, 15 feet back from this when this happens. Okay.
Why
And
is it
then
always Mitch?
It's just a heartbeat, and then boom,
Always.
Matashtai just goof down the street. What do you do?
How close is Miss? I'm gonna make you useless.
They're about 30 or 40 feet behind you.
Close enough.
If she were to try to counterspell you again, she would be in range of you. Yes.
I turn around. Look at them. We are trying to help him. We will not hurt him. We brought
I'm not
him
hurting
to you guys to help him. Let us bring him back. Please. I turn around. You have a minute to catch him and bring him back. Haste twinned on both of them.
There is no reaction from either Godiva or Bryce as far as preventing you from doing this. Bryce just has this almost impassive look on his face as you kind of like turn and talk to him. He shows almost no emotion. Godiva's brow is furrowed, right? But she just kind of like watches.
Mhm.
Okay? Ashes, Bones, you're hasted. Ashes, you're up.
All right. So if I use my action to dash and my hasted action to also dash,
You don't need. You have double move speed because of haste.
Okay, that's what it is. So,
I put it in roll 20 for you.
oh, really? Okay, so my normal movement speed is 40, so it goes to 80 times 2.
Yep. And you can also use your hasted action to dash.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
You're
Good
gonna start
lord.
wind haste? Why the fuck did we come up?
I made this comment last time.
Yeah, he used
He
like
still has like 17 spells. I'm kidding.
Alright.
I'm kidding.
For one,
I'm kidding.
my-
I'm kidding. I'm
my
kidding.
level 1 spell slots don't really have a whole lot of use.
Twin haste.
2, this is the
Thanks.
last of my sorcery points.
And well timed they are. Okay, so what is your course of action, Ashes? You
Alright,
feel
I
that
want to-
unnatural adrenaline, your entire body begins to vibrate, and you go 20 paces and you slip on the ice. Matashtai gets away.
The fucking brawl.
Alright,
train-
DM Fiat! No.
Fucking monks.
Oh,
I mean, if
fuck.
that's how it is. That's how it is. He's gone. Bye. See you
No,
later.
no, absolutely. So okay,
Alright,
so you can
sorry,
do
or
you
Mitch,
can
you're
do
bringing in the
80
centaur.
feet. You can do 80 feet. You're 135 feet away, Matashtai. Is that what?
correct. Yep.
Okay, so you can do 80 feet in just your regular movement. Then you can use either your action to dash, or you can use your haste action to dash and still have your action left when you reach him. What do you want to do?
I'll use my hasted action to get next to him.
Okay. Fucking.
Grab it.
It's
Grab his
weird,
ass.
right? Because
front
Matashtai,
of
the
him.
way Matashtai moves is just Matashtai moves like
Unnatural?
an
Like he's
no,
possessed by the devil?
no. Matashtai moves like an Olympic athlete, just sprinting down this street. Ashes is the one that moves unnaturally because Ashes' entire body, like Ashes just moves, and then his whole body just goes like after image.
So Mitch
Right,
is Insane Bolt, and
Yeah.
Ashes is the Flash.
Yeah, Ashes is bullshit. And it's funny because what Ashes is able to do right now is nothing compared to what Bones could
Bones is
potentially
about
do.
to
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can get fucking out there.
So-
I can get out of town probably.
You appear next to Matashtai.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do you-
just like Dragon Ball Z instant transmission.
Yeah, basically.
Damn, that's sick.
But yeah, I'll catch up to Matt and be like, "Listen, man, we gotta talk this out."
No.
Oh,
Valena was very worried about you the whole trip up. I'll use my action just to communicate if need be.
grab his ass, you fucking devil piece of shit!
Okay.
She doesn't sound worried to me at all.
All right,
Alright.
if I can still use my action, grapple. Because that's
That was-
wow.
That was less than 6 seconds of communication, so I'll allow it.
Well, because
Sure.
Jake is allowing it,
That's 20.
Okay.
well, shit.
Do it again!
That's 24.
Yeah, you have multi-attack. You can do it again.
Oh,
Push his
Yeah?
ass down.
Grapple counts as an attack.
Okay, I'll second attack.
God damn, he's so squirrely.
I love
We all
it.
Not so broken, we know this.
Nope.
Oh, it's just.
We're
I,
in
have,
defense.
I actually imagine like Matashtai actually goes like a little Jackie Chan on Ashes right now, right? Like he does like the coat off type thing, swirling it around type thing, etc. You just can't. It's not that you're unskilled. It's just that he's a wily
I'll look
fucker.
at Bones and be like,
All right, Bones, you're up.
Okay. So just bonus action dash. I have 100 feet or 160 feet of move.
Breathe.
I had to hiccup. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to get up there, right? And I feel like I mean, I definitely have. How he moved 135 feet?
Yeah.
So I got plenty of room to flank his ass.
Did
Sure.
you bonus action dash or did you hasted action dash?
I bonus action dashed.
Okay.
And then I'd like to attempt to stab him with my drow poison dagger
Okay.
at advantage.
Flank attack, yeah.
Dagger. So 27.
I'm stabbed.
Okay. Ezra, it is at this point that you immediately hear